Al-Nisa 4.47. O ye people of the book, believe in what we have now revealed, confirming what was already with you. If, as Al-Khazm and other ignorant followers of Muhammad insist that the people of the book have corrupted their books, they could have done this only after Muhammad's Quran and not before, since this verse clearly shows that the Quran is confirming these same previous revelations and would not have done so if they had already been corrupted. Al-An'am 6.91. Say, who then sent down the book which Moses brought, a light and a guidance to mankind. And this is a book which we have revealed, bringing blessing and confirming the revelations which came before it. It would defy logic and intellect to believe that the Quran would have used corrupted books as confirmation of its own authenticity. Nowhere does the Quran ever imply that the texts of the scripture of the people of the book had been tampered with or corrupted. Since this is the case, then any alleged corruptions would have happened after the alleged Quranic revelations. If so, then the Muhammadan accusers have an unenviable intellectual, theological, and historical magical act to perform. 1. They have to prove the most stupendous and massive literary editing ever performed in the history of humanity, that the Jews and Christians were able to alter the text of every single book of theirs all over the world, in every country, in all the languages that the Bible was written in, with the consent, agreement, and collusion of all the Jewish rabbis as well as all the Christian priests, without leaving a single copy of any original Bible. 2. To believe that the Jews and Christians were able to accomplish all the above without leaving a trace of such a conspiracy requires a human mind and intellect that also believes in flying elephants and that the moon is made of cheese. 3. The listeners should be aware that every commentary in every Quran attempting to explain the Quranic verses is based upon the very same allegedly corrupted Bibles. 4. The onus is upon the followers of Muhammad to prove their case by showing mankind a single, original, uncorrupted Bible upon which they can rest their fallacious, insane, contemptible, and ignoramus allegations. It is the simple case of put up or shut up. When the followers of Muhammad had exhausted all manner of attacks and distractions to no avail, they resort to the violence of the ignorant thugs by heaping insults and profanities against us, thus attempting to relieve the enormous pressure on their indoctrinated and frustrated minds. Although the primary objective of our series has been to enlighten and educate the immense majority of people who had not been taught anything about the cult of Muhammad and Islam, we are gradually becoming well known all over the Muslim world. If you look at inside of YouTube of our chapters, you will find out that we are listened to in Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Australia, Japan, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Turkey, Oman, Qatar, Egypt, USA, Canada, most of Europe, Russia, and some South American countries. The most heartening discovery has been a search engine that showed that 52% readers of our website, www.inthenameofallah.org, come from Pakistan. In spite of the fact that all those Muhammadans who comment on our chapters attack us on the personal level, we have no doubt whatsoever that nonetheless they are listening to many of our chapters and learning. Irrespective of the state of denial that they have no choice but to go through and endure, they are slowly awakening to the facts and realities that we are revealing. Obviously, one cannot expect them to shed decades of indoctrination just because they listened in total shock and anger at our revelations. The process of re-educating them takes time and a lot of patience. We do not and cannot empathize with their dilemma, especially those in the democracies, because they are free to make choices no matter how hard they may be. We have a lot of patience, but time is not on our side, since we may again be terminated by YouTube because the Muhammadans are flagging us. Please be aware that we are a very small unit with no outside help or backing, and with limited financial resources, but have only you, our listeners, for support and encouragement. We have repeatedly requested from those who understand the purpose of our series to reward our hard work and efforts by spending a few minutes of their time to comment on our chapters, to rate and favorite them as a show of appreciation, and to counter the negative scores that our Satans berate our chapters. We ask you also to spread the word about us to family, friend, and foe. All these would take only a few minutes of anyone's time. Only a few minutes. Yet, we rarely have more than 10% of viewers who do so. As for those of our listeners who do so regularly, we would like you to know that we actually recognize each and every one of your signatures. We appreciate your support immensely, which gives us the incentive to continue and to excel. In case of our series being terminated, we have, of course, our blog, the http thequran.blog.com, and our first volume of 100 chapters in our book, Lifting the Veil, The True Faces of Muhammad and Islam, which can be purchased from Amazon. We have requested from those amongst you who purchased the book to share with us your comments and thoughts by sending them to our inbox so that the next volume will be even more comprehensive. As for the followers of Muhammad who may listen to this chapter, please be aware that we have never harbored against you as individual human beings any ill will, because you are the first and worst victims of the cult of Muhammad and Islam. Our series is against the violent, hate-mongering, war-mongering, racist, and joyless teachings of Muhammad's Quran, and is not and can never be against Islam, which is only the belief in the will of one God. Please remember and be aware that we and any who subscribe to the belief in the one and only God are Muslims. You are, like us, the product of years and decades of indoctrination, but we all have God's gift of the freedom of intellect and choice. This gift, because it is divine, transcends any human doctrine or law. It is God's ultimate gift to humankind. All we have ever requested from any and all of you is to use this divine gift of thinking and freedom of choice, to listen, to read, to compare and contrast, to ponder, to evaluate, and only then to make your own conclusions and choices. We would like to conclude by wishing you all, so-called believers and unbelievers, to be guided to the path of righteousness and justice.